Seriously, seriously, who turned the oven up on the Cowboys' arguably greatest ever forward during the off season? Fair income. What's the crack over the talk towards Jason Taumalolo? That dude may have had his opinions on the COVID jab. He may have done some things in regards to a potential boxing career. But seriously, the gentleman has never put a friggin' foot wrong. I need to wobble my jaw about it. Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to the Wobble and Jaw Sports channel. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Less than a month away from the kickoff to the NRL season, less than a fortnight away from the pre-season challenge getting all started up and everything else. But throughout this off-season, it's not an agenda, but there's been so much talk about Jason Taumalolo, and I know it's been compounded just recently with the news that he has been demoted from captain. Even that might be too strong of a word because he's still in the leadership group and he still will be leading the charge, doing his actions, having his actions speak for him throughout 2024 and throughout his entire career as well. So Ruben Cotter and Tom Dearden are the North Queensland Cowboys co-captains. I think it's a fantastic step in the right direction, and I think it allows Jason Taumalolo to 1,000% focus on his game. I like it, and I hope Taumalolo respects it. I think he will. I think he does. I think it's better for his game in general. But literally from December, for the past 2 months, the talk has been about Taumalolo's contract, his form, and maybe the team, a team from Sydney who are at the bottom of the ladder should maybe go for Jason Taumalolo. Through biased eyes, I say you can go and get that. Genuinely would disgust me. I want to see JT version number 3 or 2 reach the 300 game milestone and be just that second cowboy to reach the milestone for the club in general. But just recently as well, over the past week or two especially, I've been fired up about it, and I want to talk a few stats that not prove, because it's everybody's opinion at the end of the day. You're allowed to have the opinion that maybe he would be better off, maybe the Cowboys would be better off if Taumalolo went to Sydney, if he went to a different club in the NRL, potentially even Super League or French Rugby League or Union. Again, I want to reiterate, if you have the opinion that the Cowboys and or Taumalolo would be better off if they parted ways, you hurt me and you hurt thousands of other Cowboy supporters, but I respect your opinion. It's your opinion. I'm not putting it down. I'm just giving you my opinion right now, and I'm about to provide some stats that actually come in the defense of Jason Taumalolo's efforts over the past 4 years or so. So first of all, Jason Taumalolo, since he made his debut in 2010, he's played over 250 first grade games for the club. And up until season 2019, besides his first couple of years where he was still being blooded in as a youth, he's played 20 plus first grade games every season of his career at the highest possible gear, legitimately the highest possible gear, and it resulted in him winning half a Dally M medal in 2016. He is one of the best forwards of the new millennium. There is an argument that he is the best forward since the year 2000, even maybe dating back to the 1990s, man. Taumalolo is a generational Ford superstar that has accrued enough brownie points in his kit bag that even if you do think he has had an awful couple of years, you don't think he hasn't earned the right to maybe have a little bit of a sit on the sideline? 2019 was the first year in a handful of seasons where Jason Taumalolo played under 20 first grade games. He played 18 matches. He missed 7 games due to an MCL injury, and yet he still finished 2019 with the highest average running meters of anybody in the game, averaging 196 running meters per game in 2019. And he missed 7 matches that season. The likes of James Tedesco that year, or Jack Whiten, Josh Papali'i couldn't rein in Jason Taumalolo, and he still missed 7 games that season. The year 2020, he played only 16 first grade games. That's just about the average for 2020. We don't talk about that year in any way, shape, or form in any corner of the universe, man. In 2020, though, he was still third. He was third overall in the running meters, and that was at 200. So he was a couple of meters more lethal in the running game in 2020. Let's go into 2021, and this is where someone may hold the opinion that this is where Taumalolo's form started to dip. Well, 2021 was the freak year where he broke a hand in training, and then just as he was about to come back, he broke his other hand in training. And you don't reckon that after fending off blokes for a decade or more, you don't think maybe a bones might accidentally one day just go and that's exactly what happened to Jason Taumalolo. It was freakish. It was unfortunate what happened to him, because reading up a couple of different articles leading up into the season, he said that I got to be better. Well, no, you friggin' didn't, because you were already killing it as far as I'm concerned. But then he was out by and large for 8 weeks at the very least off the top of the dome because of 2 broken hands. And that was legitimately, besides his MCL injury in 2019, 2021 was the year that you go, man, that was actually the year where you go, his numbers might be down. You give him a pass for 2021, don't you? Well, in 2021, he was still 22nd overall for the average running meters. He was the only North Queensland forward to crack the top 50 in 2021 for average running meters as well. That was at 155. His average in 2021 was 155. And he still missed 8 games, but still finished inside the top 50, inside the top 30 for average running meters. Moving to 2022, I don't want to touch much on 2022 because he was outstanding in 2022. Moving into 2023 now, Taumalolo had a couple of different injuries throughout the season, and he played the least amount of games since, well, about a decade ago in his tenure for the North Queensland Cowboys. Jason Taumalolo, whilst he did not finish inside the top 50 for the most average running meters, Jason Taumalolo still averaged 143 running meters in 2023. He played only 16 games and accrued 2,239 running meters. The next best forward for the North Queensland Cowboys was Jordan McLean. He averaged 111 running meters. That's 30 less on average to Jason Taumalolo's. He did run for 2,447 meters. Jordan McLean played 22 first grade games in 2023, and he still couldn't average Taumalolo's 143 running meters. That's not a knock on Jordan McLean, who for 2-3 years now has been bloody good. He's been bloody good. But such is the arsenal to Jason Taumalolo's belt. He can't help but run for over or close to 150 running meters. Look at the rest of the forward pack, though. Luciano Leilua, he missed half the season, ended up averaging 111 running meters. Ruben Cotter played 20 plus first grade games, averaged 111 running meters. Griffin Neame, 112 running meters, and he missed up to 6 games in 2023. He is a player that can and should help Jason Taumalolo moving forward, especially in 2024, anticipating a big season from Griffin Neame. And then Cohen Hess runs for 67 meters on average in 2023. He played 24 first grade games and he accrued over 1,600 running meters. So Cohen Hess, that's not a knock on him though. Still would like more input from Cohen Hess. Cohen Hess, though, I think he's been given a message that, and I think the rest of the team has been given the message that Cohen Hess is better utilised defensively, and I think that's been good. I think he has been pretty damn good for the past 2 years or so now. And he's better utilised in trying to bat back the ball from a kick. And Cohen Hess, I would like a little bit more input, but I think I understand Todd Payton's role that he's given Cohen Hess as well. However, for people that are saying that Taumalolo's form has been dipping, it hasn't been dipping. It hasn't been dipping in any way, shape, or form. And to question the man's $1 million salary, I think is ludicrous. I think it would be such a sensitive conversation. I don't even want to think about it. I want him. I think he should finish out his contract until the year 2027. But let me just simplify what I just wobbled my jaw about. Jason Taumalolo only played 16 first grade games this season or in 2023, and he still was the highest average running forward for 2023 by at least 30 meters, averaging 143. And the closest to Jason Taumalolo was Griffin Neame, who ran an average of 112. And he only played one more game than Taumalolo last year. I also concede that the injuries to the Cowboys were high. We were inside bottom 5 or top 5, whatever your way you want to look at it. We had about the third most amount of injuries, possibly second most amount of injuries in 2023. The likes of Jeremiah Nene, Helam Lukey, and then you're bringing in some young blood like Kulikafu Fenefuiaki. So there's going to be a lot of imbalance and a bit of inconsistencies. But the main problem for the Cowboys last year was that we got dominated in the forward pack. That was our big problem, and it had a lot to do with the injuries, but it also had a lot to do with that we weren't the hunters, we were the hunted. And I've got so much faith that 2024, we're going to level things out because Todd Payton's first year, we were 15th. His second year, we were 3rd. Then we finished 11th in 2023. I'm anticipating and hoping we're going to finish somewhere in 5th or 6th. I hope that I have drilled home my point respectfully. Bottom line is, I'm not talking to Taumalolo about his contract. I'm not thinking about offloading him to the Bulldogs. He is still so vitally important to us that it's almost a shame, almost a bit of a knock to the rest of the Cowboys forward pack where we've said, yep, give Jason Taumalolo a bit more leeway over the past couple of years and let's not rely on him too much. Well, Taumalolo is still absolutely destroying it, and the conversation has now found its way back around full circle to the point where everyone is saying if he has a good season, the Cowboys finish deep into finals. And while it's true, while it's fantastic, you still sort of don't want that to be the narrative, though. You need someone to step up. And I think with the likes of Hylam Lukey, Jeremiah Nene, and Griffin Neem, I think this year in particular is absolutely huge for those gentlemen. Also, Luciano Leilua too. Let's not forget, Luciano Leilua missed the first half of last year. Also, one last point that I want to bring up as well. Last year in 2023, Dearden, Drinkwater, Murray Taulagi, Valentine Holmes, and Kyle Felt, pretty much our back line, finished inside the top 50 for most average running meters. This year in 2024, while it may not be part of the game plan, it would be very nice to see not just Taumalolo, but it would be really nice to potentially see someone like a Hylam Lukey or a Griffin Neem finish inside the top 50 for average running meters, or just at the very least, someone actually pipped Jason Taumalolo for average running meters for the first time in a very long time. Taumalolo is not going anywhere. He shouldn't be going anywhere. Continue to give him his $1 million contract. And if he remains injury-free, I genuinely believe that he has one more year. He's got 4 more years left on his contract. He could absolutely kill it for the rest of his career. And I hope he does. Touch wood, he does. But I think he's got one more Dally M-esque season in him for sure. I think he's got one more year left in him. I hope it's this season. Maybe it will come in 2025, but hopefully it's this year, because I genuinely think the Cowboys can climb back into that top 8 and be that team that nobody wants to face. I genuinely believe that. Thank you for letting me wobble my jaw. Thank you for giving this video a crack. And Jason Taumalolo, I don't think anybody should be talking about him or putting pressure on him in any way, shape or form. But if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. Me, this is my opinion. And it's this, what I've just said, that is my opinion about the Jason Taumalolo off-season garbage that's been getting thrown at him, to be perfectly honest. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Adios.